All right. This is to those who have a little just inside of just a little bitty of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which started in 1986, and of course we all know that Elvis Presley, I want to say Chuck Berry, and of course the Everly Brothers were the first people that were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna put a little twist as far as like groups like um, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and pretty much everything in between. Of course, the year I graduated in high school, in the 1995 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, of course, the late Frank Zappa, Led Zeppelin, the Allman Brothers, Janis Joplin, and Neil Young, just to name a few. Of course, now what really got me was in 1997, of course, long before Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young was thought of, there was a group called the Byrds who sung songs like "Mr. Tambourine Man" was originally done by, of course, Bob Dylan, and of course the "Turn, Turn, Turn" from the inspired book of Ecclesiastes, and my personal favorite, "8 Miles High." I want to say they were found or they started in Los Angeles, California in 1966, and of course one of the members of the Byrds, of course, is one of Crosby, Stills, Nash's David Crosby. Now, to those, and this might be useless knowledge, but David Crosby is known to give the sperm or the sperm donor of Melissa Etheridge to make it possible to have a baby, which to those you may or may not know. Of course, David Crosby was a member of the Byrds, and the Byrds were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991. Now you go, you know, um, fast forward it 6 years, 1997. Of course, they dropped Young because Neil Young pretty much left the band, making it Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Of course, Crosby, Stills, and Nash got inducted in 1997. Now I'm gonna break it down, of course, from the perspective of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Of course, David Crosby, of course, was with the Byrds in 1991, and of course with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young in 1997. Now, the only member of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young to be inducted in the same year of two different rock bands, of course, is Stephen Stills. He was inducted in, of course, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and of course Buffalo Springfield. Of course, now Graham Nash, one of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, he was inducted in 1997 with Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but was later uh, was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Hollies. They were inducted in 2010. And of course, Neil Young, before Crosby, Stills, Nash was inducted, um, Neil Young was inducted in 1995 as a solo artist, and then 2 years later, inducted with, of course, Buffalo Springfield. Anybody know that? But of course, um, let's see. Um, another group. Let's see. Of course, the Boss was inducted in 1999 with Billy Joel, Paul McCartney. Of course, let's dissect the Beatles even. Of course, the Beatles was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988, and individually, the first Beatle that was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was, of course, John Lennon in 1994, and of course, the next one was Paul McCartney in 1999, and then I think 2004 was George Harrison, and last but not least, um, Ringo Starr in 2015. Surprisingly, groups like which I I welcome. Doesn't matter what kind of music it is. I mean, rap, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter because Run DMC was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009 as a rap group, and of course, let's see, 2012. Um, hold up, yeah, 2012, Beastie Boys was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Shortly after one of the members of Beastie Boys, MCA, dying of cancer. Of course, now in 2013, Public Enemy was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2013, and then of course, let's see, anyway, 2016, surprisingly, uh, NWA was also inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I welcome that, bar none. And last but not least, Tupac Shakur was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and this guy Tupac is a mastermind of instruments. Not only that, and he's got he can flow his rap like none other. I mean, nothing but mad respect for him. God rest his soul. Anyway, if anything I forgot to mention, I'll probably do in the next video.